Okay, I'm going to go through some more examples of factoring your quadratic trinomials where a does not equal 1. I refer to this a lot as your reverse box method, or I shorten it to RBM. So the steps are right here. They're the same as what were in the regular notes. So now I'm just going to go through and do some examples and then have you guys try some of them, okay? So completely factor the following expressions, and I think I'm going to need a little more space in this, so I'll just work out A, and then I'll pause, and then I'll work out B, and then so on and so forth. So you might need a little more space as well. So for this problem, if I'm factoring this, I notice a couple of things right away. First of all, there isn't a GCF that I can pull out, and I have a number in front of my x squared term that's not 1. So I can't just figure out like what multiplies to -2 and adds to 7. Nothing. So what I'm going to do now is I am going to just start off with my table, right? So I figure out what multiplies to my AC value and adds to my B value. So A times C, 4 times -2 is -8. And what multiplies to my B value would be, what adds to my B value would be what adds to 7. So if I want to multiply -8 and add to 7, I believe that's a -1 and a +8. Cha-ching, we're good to go there. And so then now I'm going to draw my box. My first term goes up here, my x squared term. My constant goes down here. And then my factors go in the other two boxes, and it doesn't matter which one goes where as long as they have x's with them. Okay. So now I'm going to do GCFs of each column and each row. So in this far right column, the GCF, what greatest common factor is between 8x and -2? Well, that would be a 2. Yep. Between 4x squared and -1x would be an x. And then I can do my rows. So then between 4x squared and 8x, I believe that's a 4x. And then between -1x and -2, that's a -1. Remember, the box that's closest to your GCFs where you're pulling out greatest common factors, that determines the sign. So from this row, it's got to be negative. From all my other columns and rows, though, it was positive. Okay. And then those are my factors themselves. Right there and right there. So again, sorry, B, we're just going to ignore you for right now, and then I'll come back and work out this one. So my factors are 4x minus 1 and x plus 2. Okay, and if I was going to actually solve this out, then I would set them separately equal to 0 and then solve for my x values, but right now we're just working on, this video is just working on factoring because that's usually where we have the most trouble. Okay, so magically my work for part A erased. If you need it again, go just rewind the video and you can go back and find it. So now we're going to start with B. I first check and see, nope, no greatest common factors that I can pull out of 10, -19, and 6. And so right off the bat, I'm going to start off with my table. So what multiplies to my AC values, 10 times 6 would be 60, and adds to 19, my B value, or excuse me, -19. Oh goodness, this might take a second. So let's see, 1 and 60, absolutely not. 2 and 30, no. 4 and, oh, I guess I should do 3 and 20. I'm just going right up the row, but 3 and 20 won't work either. Nope, nope, nope. 4 and 15 would combine to +19. Oh, so if I make them both negative, that'll make -19, and then they would still multiply to a +60. Nice. Okay. So now I'll go ahead and I'll make my box. Okay. My first x squared term goes up here. My constant goes down here. And then my factors that I found go in here with x's on them. All right, and then we'll start doing our GCFs. So from this, wow, that was a terrible arrow. So from this column, -15x and 6, I can pull out a 3, and since the box closest to where I'm pulling the GCF out is negative, I'm going to pull out a -3. And then in this column, I get 10x squared and negative 4x, so I'll put a 2x. Yep. And then in each of my rows, the top row, 10x squared and negative 15x would be 5x. And then in the bottom row, negative 4x and 6 would be, since this is negative and that's closer, it's going to be negative 2. All right, and then those are my factors. So my factors, if I factored it out, would be 2x minus 3 and 5x minus 2. And again, if you're going to solve, separately set those equal to 0 and then solve for your x values. All right, if you want to go ahead and try those U-tries, go for it. So go ahead and pause. And then now I'm going to go through them. No GCFs for this guy, so we're going to go ahead and make our table. I'll try to make it small so I don't have to erase my work afterwards. So it multiplies to my AC, so 2 and 12 is 24. My B value is 11, so what multiplies to 24 and adds to 11? That's a 3 and an 8. And so then when I make my box, let's see, my 2x squared term goes up here, my 12 goes down here, and then my factors with their x's go in here. It's okay if you put the 3 down here and put the 8 up there. You'll still get the same factors at the very end. All right, let's do my GCF. So 3x and 12 would give me just a 3. Between 2x squared and 8x would give me a 2x. And this way, my top row, 2x squared and 3x would have just an x. 8x and 12 would give me 4. Yep. And so then those are my factors. I would have 2x plus 3 and x plus 4. Nice. All right, in this one, we figure out there's no GCF that I can pull out, and I have a number greater than 1 with my x squared term, so I have 4 times 10 is 40, and then adds to negative 13. Okay, let's think about this one. 1 and 40, no. 2 and 20, no. 3, no. 4 and 10, that's close, so give me 14. Let's see, 5 and 8, aha! Oh, those give me positive 13. Oh, so make them both negative. Give me negative 13. Okay, let's make my box. All right, my x squared term goes up here. My constant goes down here. And then my factors go in here. Lovely. All right, let's do GCFs. Oh, no, I want that to be pink. All right, negative 5x and 10 would be a negative 5 because my box that's closest to where my GCF is going is negative. Between 4x squared and negative 8x, is 4x. Then with my rows, 4x squared and negative 5x would be just an x. And negative 8x and 10 would be negative 2. Yep. Okay, and so then those are my factors. 4x minus 5 and x minus 2. Cool. All right, I'm going to go ahead and pause here, and in the next video, I'm just going to go through and do a bunch of practice. So if you would like to try these practices on your own and then double check your answers, go for it. All right.